Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's percolating. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning to the people on Facebook. Good morning to the people on IG. Good morning to the people on the YouTube. Good morning to the people on LinkedIn and Twitter too. Java. Percolating. Get a vibe, stay ready. Truth in the cup, keep it strong, keep it steady. Pull up a chair, yeah. Take a sip with me. Good morning, good people. Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, the love percolating. Love percolating. Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good morning. Yeah, the love percolating. Yeah, Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Percolating. Yeah, we in it. Yeah, we in it. Good morning. Good morning. Java with Jimmy. Percolating. Yeah, we in it. Yeah, we in it. Good morning. Good morning. Java with Jimmy.
Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe. Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Monday, March 30th, 2026. I'm tapping myself on the shoulder because if you watch daily, last couple of weeks, I don't know what was up with me and the date, but today is Monday, March 30th again. And we are, what's up, Mike? Good to see you over on Instagram. Today is Mental Health Monday, as well as we're going to review a video I did with Dave Halpert over on BNN Talk of the Neighborhoods. For those of you that have files or whatever and can't tune in or was not able to tune in to BNN, we're going to share that interview in just a few moments. It is very politically based, and Dave and I have known each other for years, and he was very intentional with this questioning, and I was very intentional with my answers. And so we're going to share that in just a few moments. But as today is Mental Health Monday, I put a post up earlier in crap. I do not have my phone with me. So yeah. We are going to check in on our mental health, as we do on most Mental Health Mondays, is ask you to put one word in the comments that talks about and speaks to how you're doing from a mental health space. As I always say, and it's always so much going on, life is lifing. We have a lot of things with which we deal. And so I've been very intentional for 6 years about holding space for our mental health. Not a clinician, and we're doing better at bringing clinicians in. Shout out to our brother Kwame Dance that came in, I believe it was last Monday, almost a week ago, and talked with us about Black men and mental health. And he was very transparent about, his journey and struggles and things. And one of the most amazing moments was when he let us know that he was playing with his fidget spinner. And for a clinician to do that live on a talk show, I think was major. And so shout out to Brother Kwame. Let's go in the chat and see who is in so far this morning. So far this morning in the Java Cafe, we have Nisi Williams, first one saying good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Dina Marshall Tarver, good to see you in the room this morning. Mama Java, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. Sister Debbie, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Shamika, good to see you in the room this morning as well. Dina, I got your text yesterday also. I think my question was too heavy for, I was just getting no, weekends I be off. Miss Teresa said to me this morning, she was like, you really on D&D? I'm going to be on D&D right now, definitely, just to catch up with some things. But Dina said, we're going to jump into words in a minute, but Dina is kicking off the words this morning. And she said that she is feeling okay. Nisi said that she is feeling exhausted. Also, let me see. Tashad, good morning. Good to see you in the room. My mother said allergies. Jesus Lord. Ma, thanks. The joke in our family with my sisters, morally for their kids, my mother's grandkids, is a lot of the things that's wrong with my nieces and nephews when it comes to allergies, eczema, which is a immune issue. My sister Cammy one day said, "They all get it from you." Thanks, Ma. So, yeah, my mother definitely has allergies, and I deal with them as well. Pastor Sharon Cornelius, Sharon Cornelius, Sharon Cornelius. Good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. I'm so glad that Dina and Tashad got to meet in person the other day. Again, it just speaks to the bonds and the Java family and the Java Cafe and what we've been doing here for 6 years. So that is definitely awesome. Instagram section looks a little uninhabited today. Not that many folks over there this morning. So it's you all over here on Facebook. And I have to say again, and I am putting up a flyer later, but I'll say it here. Again, thank you to everyone that reached out last week, that sent cash apps, that sent well wishes. But the major thing for me always is to those of you that are here every day, whether it's 5, 55, 105. I'm appreciative being a platform that come to get the information, that mobilize and in reference community engagement, equity, health, and things like that. So speaking of health, I want to remind you of a couple of dates. We have a Young Professionals Networking session coming up on April 23rd, based in health. You can come get some free health information. Also on May 16th is our health fair. I got to rush off of here today because one of the sponsors changed their request process, and I have today to upload things to their portal. So don't forget the health fair. It is the 5th year, and this year we have I don't want to, but I thought about it earlier. Pending sponsorship, we are giving away $5,000 total cash prizes to 5 individuals, $1,000 each for those that do pre-register, show up and check in, and that are there at the moment of the raffle. You have to be in the room for all of the raffles. Also, to keep you abreast, pre-registration will open on this Friday at 12 noon, and the people that pre-register are automatically, the people that pre-register and come and check in are automatically entered into a $100 gift card pending sponsorship. Listen, I'm gonna make this health fair is gonna happen no matter what. But I really believe, and I'm gonna tell the Mothers Board and others to pray that once this stuff is entered into the portal, we get the approval for the sponsorship from one of our sponsors that has been very supportive over the last few years. The young lady that I'm in touch with, she had some time in Roxbury, and she is personally, her and her colleagues are personally committed to getting us through this process. So keep the health fair in mind. The 5th annual Joseph R. Betancourt Your Healthy Java Health Fair taking place on May 16th. Also, don't forget on Thursday evening, a Young Professionals Mixer networking session taking place. Tashad, please share the word about that once I drop the information. Invite some folks to come. We may do a gift card for whoever gets the most people in the room. I'm not sure. So we'll have more information about that actually dropping today for our young professionals, our young to middle age, let's say professionals, because I'm middle age. So, all right. I'm going to go back and just check the word. I got a few earlier. That was so nice meeting. Keep coming to the meetings. I'm glad that Dina and Tashad met and at a community meeting. Janky Java is in the room. Good to see you in the room this morning. Kathy, good to see you in the room. Kathy, thank you so much for being supportive. Thank you for being just the encourager in what you do in community. And you're very, 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 very much appreciated, not just here in the Java Cafe, but just in community, whether people express it or not. You've had an impact, and so we appreciate you. Cheryl Babbitt, I see you were in the room. My mother, I saw your and my mother's exchange on social media about making it into the Java Cafe, saying that you missed it. So we are glad. Welcome. I've seen this name before. So welcome again into the Java Cafe. We are glad to have you here this morning. Listen, folks, let's do one more review of our mental health word for Monday. I'll share mine while I ask the rest of you to share yours as well. Sister Debbie did say that hers was good. So we do have a few in the room, but for those of you that have not yet, hit that keyboard, or unless you're at work and you're listening and you have a patient or a customer in front of you while you have your headphone in your ear listening. If I yell real loud, will they? No, I'm messing. Let me stop. But put one word in the comments to let us know how you're feeling this morning. And we just want to hold space and support. I saw exhausted. I saw allergies. I saw okay. Okay made me think of meh. Just kind of not bad, not good. Cosi comme ça. I think that's French, as they used to say. But, you know, we endure a lot. We gain strength from that endurance. That's on the side of, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow on Testimony Tuesday, but that's more on the side of there are things that come that we don't expect that challenge us, and sometimes our mental health is impacted. So I get that. And it's constant and it's cyclical. But another thing that needs to be cyclical is intentional self-care. Is intentional, as I'm in the midst of right now. I have to turn off. That's just the way my brain is wired. I function better when I am knowing I don't have anything to do at all. Well, I have things to do, but anyway, I can't explain it. Maybe when I get back in therapy, we'll pack it out there. Oh, God, I said therapy, and who comes into the room? A good accountability brother. Anthony, good morning. Good to see you in the Java Cafe. Miss you in here as often, but you've been traveling the country and all, you know, international on other platforms that aren't Java with Jimmy. But nah, because the first thing Anthony will say was, well, invite me. But Anthony, we'll have you back on soon because I would love to hear a lot of your commentary in reference to a lot of things going on here, specifically impacting Black Boston. And as someone who is exposed to different models of Black power throughout the country, yeah, I think we need to set up a Java After Dark really soon. AJ is also saying he's reflective, wanting to learn all I should from Q1 this year. Yeah, we're wrapping out quarter one. Anthony knows the struggle of quarters. I wish I had some change in my hand. I've shared with you all. Fourth quarters, past couple of years have been very interesting for me. But I think the Davis system and Anthony, as we did last week or the week before, on Thankful Thursday, for their contribution still to the Java Cafe. And just I'm a client. That made me think of that commercial. I'm not only the president, but I'm also a client of the hair club. Y'all remember that back in the day? All right, let me get focused. And this really will bring us focused. And also, I ask you all to keep this young lady in your prayers. A good friend. Are you back in Boston, Deprecia? I seen a picture of you and Latrell at the choir rehearsal event that happened here in Boston. But Deprecia, please keep Deprecia Speller in your prayers, everyone. A great sister that has championed so many getting through places of praise and worship and causing people to just in times of worship and praise to release a lot of things that they're dealing with. And so, Deprecia, we're holding space for you, for your sister, and your mom who has recently transitioned, our ancestors, and also in a better place, yes, but we're still here in this place. And so, Deprecia, we love you a long time. Ma, Deprecia goes back to Greenville Street. She lived across the street from the Justice family in the greenhouse there. Deprecia, good to see you in the room. And there she go. Why didn't you go to choir rehearsal Saturday? I just, Deprecia, when I'm in my season of isolation and just not wanting to deal with the world, I actually missed an event last week, and I want to publicly apologize to Brother DL. And if he's watching or sees this, anyway. But Deprecia, we are definitely holding space for you. And to have, you here with us today is definitely, you got a fam here. So you all welcome Deprecia. Wrap your arms around here. Deprecia, there's a lot of mothers and sisters in here. A lot of them. So you have space here to just fuss, as Bishop used to say, fuss, cuss, and cry. But we're here. Good to see you in here, sister. AJ, definitely will get that date set up soon. I do have a date for you all in reference to another Java After Dark. But I was told to drop the video first. They did not want the person that is producing this recorded a video and told me that the way I must announce it is through the video first. So there's another date coming up for that. AJ, as soon as we get that date set, I'll reach out to you with a couple of dates. Come on, everyone. We're getting ready to show the interview that we had with Dave Halpert over on where AJ has appeared as well on Talk of the Neighborhoods. So please stay tuned to check in and watch that. And don't forget the words. What are your words for Mental Health Monday? Deprecia is letting us know I've been here for a month, but I'm leaving on the 11th. Okay. I saw and I'm like, is she here? Deprecia, look at you. All skintied up and things. Go ahead. Sharon. Sharon, the brother, Will Johnson, who travels the country doing choir rehearsal with friends, was in Boston on Saturday. There's a whole social media campaign that went on because he was going to Springfield, and then he kept saying he was coming to Boston, and then he put the address, and the address was across the bridge in Cambridge. And yes, I was one of them. People like me were like, that's not Boston. So shout out to Pastor Audie Lynch over at Faithful Church of Christ that hosted Will Johnson. And so what he does, Sharon, it is a paid event, you give an offering to attend because it is a night of entertainment. It is literally, you're attending a concert, but you're part of the concert as well. Hear my mother talking about allergies, and my nose just did that. Excuse me, being too transparent. That burn. So thanks, Ma. But Sharon, that was what choir rehearsal is. Kathy is praying for Deprecia Milagro. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that commercial. Thank all of you on behalf of Deprecia that is holding her up in prayer. Pray herself, Lord Jesus, safe travel for herself as well. Dina, she's always starting trouble. The chili mistake is suspect. She gave two different reasons for that, is why I said suspect. Brother Milton, what's up, brother? Good to see you in the room. Good to see you in the room. I thought about you this weekend. If you think good, you'll know why. But keep me abreast about that. All right. This is a good segue, Dina. Thank you. This is a good segue into the video we're going to share. Luz, good to see you over on Instagram. Luz Photography, good to see you over on Instagram. All right, so this is what's going on with Chili, one of the two living members of TLC. Is T? Chili, I don't know, a while ago or recently, what got this on my radar was that it was allegedly, it's been reported that Sister Chili donated to the Ronald Dump campaign. Donations are public. That's why I was trolling OCPF during the mayoral campaign, because you can see who donates to candidates, and donations to candidates typically contributed to you share their values and their mission and their vision, which is a whole nother conversation for a later date about Boston politics. So Chili donated to, it was reported that she donated to Ronald Dump. Then it resurfaced, and I don't know if this was a long time ago or recently, in the recent past, that she shared one of those crazy conspiracy videos about Michelle Obama. And so let me tell y'all something about Black folks, Black Twitter. I call Threads the new Black Twitter. To Dina's point in how we got here with her comment, Chili's looking a little suspect to Black folks right now. she is under fire. Now, this is what's being said. I haven't dug deep into this, but even I saw it yesterday or Saturday for the first time. I woke up this morning, looked on social media. Oh, it's trending. It's trending. It's trending. And so she is and with a lot of black folks that, um, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but there's a certain sometimes for not just celebrities, sometimes for marginalized people that get to a point where the priority of capitalism, individualism outweighs give back, outweighs a typically human persona around humanity and regard for people and respect. A celebrity. Anyway, they outweigh the how some of us into y'all see I'm struggling. Where's y'all? The weight of their further capitalistic individual priority outweighs what most of us presumably would allow to be the priority around equity and the benefit of people. I say all that to say that a lot of black folks that you've seen supporting Ronald Dump are in a certain tax bracket. A lot of them. Now I'm talking more on a celebrity because there's also some skin ain't kin, just regular black folks that those folks in the White House on the faith base and that little all politics are local. So what we're going to do is get ready to allow you to see. Good morning, Opa. Is allow you to see for those of you. Okay, we have some folks in the room. Let me say good morning, and then we'll go to the video. Miss Teresa, I was just talking about you a few minutes ago about your D&D comment. And I responded back to Miss Teresa. I said, still, it was observed here, Miss Teresa. Was it observed here? Or we were talking about self-care, and I mentioned being on D&D. Tashad said, I want to believe her, but that's a lot of unintentional mistakes being made. Did you say sorry to D.L. Hughley? What did I say to D.L. Hughley? What did I say or do about him? Deprecia, what do you... One thing, this woman has a sense of humor that is... And then when she starts laughing, and then the comment and the snicker after. All right. Nick, Naraki. Now, here of late, what I do, and this is a media literacy moment, a lot of conspiracy, bot, misinformation, all politics are local, misinformation now has the ability. What's up, Jermaine? Good to see Jermaine, host of the main show and a good friend and brother, one of my former young people from years ago. There's an ability with AI and things like that to make presentations and present things on social media, anywhere with a flyer or whatever, and make it look newsworthy, make it look authentic, make it look like it's the truth. And it really is not. There's stories out there right now about a lot of black folks, and there was that ICE video that kind of infuriated black people that was created by supremacists and bots and whatnot. All of that to say that I have not done a deep search into Chili or Nick Cannon. However, some of the posts that I've seen about Nick Cannon are on credible news outlets. And so, I'll say this as we actually get ready to get into a conversation, my latest one with Dave Halpert of BNN, Talk of the Neighborhoods, that aired a couple of weeks ago on BNN. So I'm airing it here for those of you that don't have access to the local Boston neighborhood network. This is a good segue into that, but I'll go back to what I said before. And I'll add a little bit that electoral politics and things of that sort are often a theater, are often high city council, a high school. All this talk of going on with BPS, somebody needs to put a line item in Boston City Council High for a principal. Let me show the video. It's Mental Health Monday, and I got things to do, and I need to behave. A couple of more comments. Lainey is in the building. I think I put her post up and didn't say good morning. Lainey, good morning. Okay, here we go. All right, a couple of more minutes, and Jermaine is on Instagram, Deprecia, but Deprecia said hello. He'll probably pop on here to Facebook. Dina is giving us clarity. First, she made a video saying that she hit repost accidentally while scrolling. If you know when you repost, it's not a one-click response. Then a written statement saying she didn't read the fine print, which was, it says, I say it was BS. Dina, you about to get me beeped. So yeah, Chili and oh. See, Deprecia? If you all know Deprecia, you will know the tone of voice. You will know the laugh delivered with this comment. DL is a local rapper here in Boston, Daniel Laurent Deprecia, and he had a movie preview, and I literally slept through it. Came home the other day, laid down at about 4:30, and told myself I was getting up at 6:30. I woke up at 9:17. So that is the DL Deprecia that I apply. You ain't got no sense. Y'all got to know her to really appreciate that comment. Jenny, sis, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Sharon Cornelia said, leave Nick alone because he got too many kids that needs to be Pastor. All right, let's show the video. I'm glad with people being exhausted and Verified Boston is in the room. I need to know who's running Verified Boston's account over there. I see all activity. I'm enjoying it. But good to see you over on Instagram this morning, and keep going, keep bringing attention to issues that are impacting our community. And y'all's followers, who you follow, let me know a whole lot. I say, oh, they. Anyway, good to see you over in the Java Cafe in the Instagram section this morning. Miss Teresa said, look at your phone. I sent Uncle Luke's post. Miss Teresa, I don't have my phone in front of me, and you don't have an iPhone, so I can't open up iMessage on my Mac and see it. All right. Let's get focused. Let's share the video from my conversation. Verified Boston, I'm of all days to see you on. I'm about to show the video from my conversation with Dave Halpert over at BNN just a couple of weeks ago on Talk of the Neighborhoods.
And we're back. Boston native James Jimmy Hills is a community advocate, a self-made talk show host, and increasingly an influential figure in Boston's media landscape. His career spans over 40 years across the nonprofit and government sectors. And in March of 2020, he launched Java with Jimmy, an internet-based talk show created in response to the displacement and disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on Black and brown communities all across Boston. This 4-day-a-week blog has since evolved into one of Boston's most recognized and politically engaging platforms, boasting over, I think the number is beyond 20,000 followers.
Just at 25 this week.
There you go, across social media. And so with that, we'd like to welcome once again,
thank you,
James Hills.
Thank you, brother.
Java with Jimmy, how are you?
You're one of the few that can get me on the other side of the desk.
Well, like we said, 6 years.
Yes, sir.
6 years. So when this started, right, you were there, you were home, you were looking for ways to engage like many of us were, and thinking about how you could give voice to some of the voiceless out there, as we've discussed in the past. Did you see it being this?
No. And I'll be honest, I used to laugh at my pastor because at his pastoral anniversary, he would be sensitive. If you say anything to him, he would just cry. And now, close to the anniversary, I'm like that. So I said that to say that you asking me that almost got me choked up. No, it was one day that after Governor Baker said, we needed to stay home from working in healthcare, working in government, being part of the Black community, I just knew that what we saw exacerbated in our community, I knew it was going to happen. And then on March 24th, 6 years later, every once in a while, it baffles me that we're still here. And the way that it's grown and the impact that it's having and the influence. I still every now and then get surprised.
So at the beginning, you're getting up, you have this idea. You're out there, let's figure out what this platform is, how can we engage? Now, it's more of a process. Like you said, it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of routine around it.
Yes. Yes.
Really, how have things changed so much for you in kind of your approach to the work and how you interact with guests, how you get guests,
yes.
right? Here from where you were 6 years ago?
With the getting the guest, I believe, and I realized this 2 years into it, it's because of relationships. And Java with Jimmy is what it is, and by some considered a credible voice, not just because of March 24th, 2020. It was everything before that. We were in the hall together, activism. And so the relationships is how I get the guests. I had the mayor on the day after the second Snowmageddon. That was via a text. Hey, does the mayor have 5 minutes to just give us an update about the snow? To the point about what has changed, tech has definitely changed. I'm in the process now of needing to upgrade. I haven't upgraded my laptop or cameras in a couple of years, and it bothers me. A major foundational thing for me that it hasn't really changed, but I think it's a reinforced or reinvigorated priority that stays consistent throughout the time of the platform, but accuracy of information. I believe both locally and also nationally, the importance of accurate information around local policies or even healthcare. Now I think that for me, it hasn't changed, but the intensity and the level of responsibility. The more the influence, the more, the more impact the platform has, I do feel what has changed is the weight of the responsibility. It does feel heavier now. It really does.
To that point, so Job with Jimmy has really become a form, right? You said you'll have everybody from the mayor, you've had members of Congress, and all the way, not down, but in a different space,
yes, yep,
right?
community.
To folks who work at the community level, who don't have that kind of platform
Absolutely.
and can't get it as easily as some of these other folks can. And so it's been this kind of equating space, right? Between these different voices. And so I'm wondering, as folks have they used this platform in some ways as a forum, a town hall, and virtually in some ways, for the development of an agenda. How do you feel the show plays a role in that process?
I'm laughing because Nia Grace, very good friend of mine, a few weeks ago, she was commenting on a show, and I'm not sure, I think it was either the Snow or P3 or something, and that particular day, I think we had like 207 comments. Nia hit me up and said, your show is like a community meeting. And at first I said, no, it's not. No, because sometimes community meetings can be a little chaotic. But I do embrace that. I do see it, I would say more as a community meeting rather than a town hall. But yes, I do believe that if not just in one show, over a period of time of repeated topics or repeated guests, I believe it does take on a town hall or community meeting approach. We're hearing from community. The reason to have the electeds on is to convey to them what the community is saying, not that they don't know, but also for the community to hear, in my space, a very different conversation that you will not hear on legacy and mainstream media that is very much informed by what I gauge is happening in community.
Absolutely. Well, To that point, right? The conversation that you have forming a building block, there's as somebody who watches every now and then, looks at those comments, as many as there are, there's a lot of dynamic discussion there about, things that are happening in the community, but also what the responses could and should be.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And I'm wondering, how do you see, the show, how do you see the broader conversation? Because the conversation, as we all know, doesn't end when the show concludes every day. So how do you see that as a building block of creating a policy agenda, a social action agenda, social justice agenda for certain communities in the city?
Actively right now, and if you may have seen some post this thing with P3, and for those that are watching that may not know what we're talking about, basically a parcel of land, there was a belief that the black developers and others were going to develop it. Things changed at the very last minute out of the mayor's office, and it caused Black Boston to be like, wait, what? And on the platform, I raised it. I had Reverend Brown on and others. So to answer your question, it is a building block. Those that watch, that comment, and then those that watch that don't comment, because I've gotten texts about the show, there's no comments. And so the policymakers are watching. They are watching. I try to ask questions to generate a consensus from the community. And so it is a building block. Right now, I have a question going about a Black Boston agenda. And so post the show, and when the camera goes off, there are the phone calls, there are the texts, there are the emails that are in relationship to the topic of the show, or there's follow-up sometimes, or more conversation about, or with the people that were on the show. And then sometimes, not as much now, as I used to, but in addition to the show and just social media comments on my page sometimes, I would proactively convey to some people, leadership, hey, I'm seeing this trend on social media. Hey, this is coming down the pike, you might wanna. And so I do see it as a building block of many, building blocks in our community. But the civic engagement here lately it's really picked up. I am very surprised by it. I'm happy about it. I am surprised about it. But on one hand, I'm not, because that is one of the pillars and part of the goal for mobilization toward action, toward an equitable quality of life for everyone. So long way of saying, yes, it is a building block.
And, as you said, you sit here almost on the eve of 6 years.
Yeah.
Thinking about the past of the show, but now looking towards the future.
Yes, sir.
Right? Things continue apace, they continue to grow. You've been at Boston Public Library's, the WGBH studios.
Yes,
you've been all over. You've been in magazines. You've been profiled, all these different things. And I'm curious, what do you see the future as Job with Jimmy looking like? What's success look like for you if we're back here speaking about this a year from now? What does success look like for me? I'm going to be very real. That I have an intern with me that is, getting some social media stuff while I'm here with you, to the most minuscule thing or most minimal thing, to the greatest thing is I do want a platform. And what I mean by that is, let's say BNN shut down tomorrow, and you and I talked and you say, yo, Jimmy, I really miss, doing this. All right, Dave, well, either you can come to my house or I'll bring my stuff somewhere and you can come and do Dave, Donuts with Dave, on my platform. You know what I mean? I am better embracing that it is more than me. And these 6 years of lessons learned and being a community voice, I think, is further amplified by more community voices. And so a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, JavaWithJimmy.com, but similar to BNN's website, you got a menu of watching morning and after dark, and then watching Dave and watching Darren or something like that. I do want to, syndicate and offer the platform to young people. This year is going to be a focus on young people. I think with a lot of the conversations going on, I haven't heard that youth voice. So it definitely expansion, more people on my platform, and youth. That's what's next for me. Absolutely. Well, to pivot a little bit,
Yep.
from the show into kind of the conversations they're
Yes, sir.
in. So the Boston Public Health Commission recently released the first report and a series that they're going to have about addressing health disparities among different communities here in Boston, closing the gap, an examination of life expectancy among Black residents in Boston. Now, you come from a public health background, had a long time experience there, kind of leading into those initial conversations that got the show up and off the ground. And just a few pulled bullet points here, and curious about what you're hearing, what you're seeing, and what you think these speak to in terms of conversations in the community. For example, from 2013 to 2024, it says the life expectancy gap between Black residents and their neighbors doubled from 3.3 years to 6.6 years. That between 2022 and 2024, Black women here in the city had an average life expectancy of 80.1 years, about 6.4 fewer than their counterparts in the city. And during that same period, Black men had an average life expectancy of 71.8 years, 9.3 years fewer than other men in Boston, giving the Black community here the lowest life expectancy of all groups in terms of this analysis. Now, obviously there's a lot of empirical data there, but at an experiential level, I'm wondering, the causes that folks are saying, right? Lack of access to medical care, lack of access to healthy food, the impact of violence in our streets, the impact of substance use disorder and other things. How does that speak to you as somebody not only who speaks about the policy issues, but who has lived in this community for so long?
A few things there. I had a conversation with a psychiatrist a few weeks ago, and we talked about anxiety and depression. And in that conversation, we talked about the undercurrent of systems that perpetuate those four bullets that you talk about. Ayanna Pressley said a few years ago, I don't know if you remember her and former Governor Baker had an exchange at the MLK breakfast.
I was there.
And you remember that. And he said something and
what kind of a rant?
That's
what it was, and it took off.
Because I believe at that point she was talking about we don't need more data. And I know that's a risky statement. I have not looked at the whole report, but I don't believe that I'm going to be overly surprised by any of the data in that report based on the fact that I lived this, I have family members, I've had to advocate in the healthcare space. And so for me, those four bullets that you named, I view them as byproducts of continued system constraints that lead to things like the impact of not having a solid Black economic development, a lot of opportunities for Black people to get jobs or start businesses, and whatever we want to say about the healthcare and insurance industry now, they have the ability to have private insurance. We know that most of our population and most of those data points are on public assistance. And a good portion of them are on public assistance. Some are working hard and overtime in 3 jobs. But even in that, that's an economic impact because they can't make ends meet. So you're skipping the doctor, you're making a choice between medication. You remember Mayor Menino had food and fuel some years ago, so you're making those choices. Even in that, we're back here again. There's nothing new under the sun. That data for me is just another affirmation that if we really want to have an impact on the health and wealth of Black Bostonians, we have to get to the root of the problem that causes what I consider, they're real, but I consider them, they're byproducts of a very strong undercurrent of system constraints, racism, and capitalism.
And so the point of these reports is it's put out there by the Public Health Commission and others is to lift these stories up and to bring attention to them. And from the mayor's office, right, using this as a platform to talk about some of the interventions that they're trying to do in terms of funding, in terms of programming, increased things that are hopefully going to address some of those byproducts, as you called them. And I'm wondering, to take a step back, is it a too little, too late? And by that, I mean, we're into now the second term of this administration. You've been a longtime and vocal supporter, particularly in this last election cycle, of Mayor Wu, and there's been a lot of conversation on the platform about what that relationship looks like. Has that relationship fundamentally changed in a way, and has it been broken in many ways?
It has not been broken. I believe that it's changed. It hasn't changed. Mayor Wu knows that when it comes down to it, she's a friend. But if I believe, and she said it on the show, I know I'll come here and there'll be questions of accountability. Some people may not think it's accountable enough, but it has changed in a manner. I believe that the demonstration of what I have said, and have had to here and there, kind of push back on some things. This P3 thing for me, it changed my perspective on how I view system constraints, decades and generations old constraints. And so we're, cool, but it's known that I don't agree with a lot of how, when you mention a second term, how the administration came out the gate, particularly with the Black community in the second term, had me like, wait, what? Right, wrong, or indifferent, what people want to believe or not, there is a perception that her hands were in Brian Worrell, the Black man, not getting the city council presidency. Then there was P3. And though Brother Shagun Idowu was on his way out, and a lot of us knew he wasn't going to do a full second term. His grandmother was sick, Mother Lawson, the great late Mother Lawson, a deaconess. 12th Baptist made her, say it
posthumously.
Yeah, that one. They made her a deacon a couple of weeks ago, and that expedited his departure. But Shagun said to me, and he said it to the media, so it's public, I will neither confirm nor deny that decision pushed him out the door. I don't want to say pushed him out the door. He made a decision earlier to leave. I said all that to say that Black Boston is in this second term, and I think it was an article that Yabu Miller wrote, that we're not at a full start, particularly with the mayor, but we're at the crosswalk at a yellow light, and maybe a couple of people in the car on their phone or on a GPS in the car trying to figure out, okay, where are we going and what are we doing? And right now, we're still at the light. Until there is demonstration to commit to make whole in some sense a lot of people involved with P3, I don't know in the second term, as of right now, what the mayor's legacy will be with the Black community. I hope it turns out well, not for her, but for the benefit of us. And so it's interesting, but my 10 toes down on the Black community and making decisions. And the last thing I'll say about this is we had a valid presumption. You talked about the campaign trail. We had a valid presumption that you were going to do up until, the mayor's under the radar from the federal government. Some things that a mayor could do, back in the day, she couldn't do now. Not saying that she would break the law before, but, there may be some things that she may want to do, but we know that the White House is looking at her and they would love for an optic, even if she got out and it wasn't anything real. They would love for an optic for her to walk out in handcuffs. So having that understanding still doesn't negate the fact that something major needs to happen for Black Boston that is sustainable and has a generational impact.
And so in the few minutes that we have left, just to touch on that, one of the next big conversations that's been ongoing is the Blue Hill Avenue redesign and the potential for the Blue Hill Avenue redesign. Do you think that is a potential course correction inflection point for the mayor? My concern about the Blue Hill Ave one lane, bus lane, is that if that proceeds, there are a lot of people in Boston that right now that feel that they are not being heard by this administration, by other electeds at different levels. And Blue Hill Ave, for me, I just rolled down Blue Hill. First of all, before we get to the bus lane, can we get the potholes fixed? It's bad out there.
There's a community meeting coming up, a listening session that Minyard Culpepper and Brian Worrell are having soon. And I think that is going to be a shift, I believe, in this decision. If I understand right, the money has been allocated, but I believe that there is some flexibility to shift that to improvement, and that may not have to be a bus lane. You know, so that particular issue remains to be seen, but unfortunately, I support White Stadium, but a lot of people didn't. A lot of people feel that the combo of Madison Park, White Stadium, and Blue Hill Ave, and those are in Black communities. They feel they're not being listened to, and what the community wants isn't being honored.
Absolutely. Well, we're about to wrap, but before
That quick?
I know it goes fast. Couldn't let you go with saying, well, gotta have your prediction. You know, you've been on the list of most influential Bostonians in Boston Magazine. You've moved up in the rankings every year. Where do you think you're going to make it in the top 10
First
this
of
year?
all, who said that? Huh? You said top 10?
I'm just asking.
What did you hear?
I didn't hear anything.
I don't know. I will neither deny nor confirm any awareness of if I'm even on the list this year. It is an honor, and I'll just end this part with this. I never started out for recognition, but when the recognition happens, that makes it so much more worthy because peers, colleagues, whatever feel that I'm having an impact.
Great. And if folks want to stay in contact with you, where do they find you?
Everything is at Java with Jimmy on all social media platforms, and info@javawithjimmy.com if you would like to email me.
Well, James Hills, as always, thank you
And
for
can
being
I just
here.
say, I'm proud of you, man, as someone that maybe a couple of years before you doing this, but I'm enjoying you, man. Thank you. And if you ever want to, no disrespect to BNN, but if you ever want to come do something on Java with Jimmy, let me know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
And thank you so much to James Hills.
But across Boston, we definitely are dealing with a lot.
It is
Across
definitely-
Boston, we definitely are dealing with. But across Boston, we definitely are dealing with a lot of food insecurity. So we've gone from maybe.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. Couldn't do a video without tech or something messing up, but hopefully you got some insight into this conversation happened a couple of weeks ago. So the pointing to the Blue Hill Ave meeting, that meeting did happen. It seemed to be well attended. There were a lot of people from the community that spoke out. And also, was there another date reference there? I don't believe so. That was a week before the anniversary, so references there. But it was a rebroadcast of my conversation with Dave, and he's going to get me because if you all noticed, maybe I shouldn't even say it. Some people may have noticed it, but I just need to make sure about something real quick. And believe it or not, I may have to go and edit something. I just need to check something real quick. Nope. I'll get in trouble. Yeah, I had a misspelling of his name, which, you know, between he and I and his sister, Kristen, and some folks in the political space got on me some years ago, and they admitted they do it too. It's Halpert, not Halpert. So shout out to the good brother Dave for a conversation that was interesting. There were a couple of questions that he asked, and I did my best to answer them authentically. With that being said, there were a couple of points there that I wanted to touch on. One, we are scheduled to talk to Dr. Basola Ojukutu on Tuesday, April 21st for Your Healthy Java to talk about that report specifically with the Black community. Additionally, we have two asks into two other administration officials. One is Mari Angeli, who is the chief of the Equity Cabinet. We have an ask in and where, yes. Also, additionally, we have Dr. Isaac Yablo, an invitation into him, and he may join us with crossover with Dr. Ojukutu to talk about, he will by that time be just at about 11 months in that position of a all-inclusive one space where all things violence prevention, intervention, and response to are in one place. And for many years, I was an advocate for that, and then also advocated for him to be in that position. And so, Lawrence, what's up, brother? Good to see you popping over on Instagram. So Dr. Isaac Yablo will be with us soon. Chief, I don't want to mess up her last name, Madi Angeli will be with us soon. And Dr. Ojukutu will be with us on Tuesday, April 21st, which is just before the health fair. So, well, just before our event on April 23rd for professionals for our after work mixer. So Lawrence, keep April 23rd in mind, bro. I'm having an event. I have a couple of complimentary drinks and a couple of bites, get some folks together after work, starting on April 23rd. So registration for that will be dropping today. The location and information will be provided as we get closer to the event. I think that is it for me today. Wednesday, we are speaking at Wednesday. We are on at 9 a.m. Wednesday is at 9 a.m. Also, on Wednesday at 9 a.m., we are speaking to a couple of folks that move in the space of climate equity and energy. And so they'll be with us Wednesday at 9 a.m. Wednesday is at 9 a.m., everybody. I need to get that flyer out. Also on Thursday, we will not be here at 10 a.m. I notice I'm messing with you guys week. I'm sorry. This is an interesting week. Yeah, for me too. Outside this week a lot. Thursday, we will not be here at 10 a.m. We will be live at 12:30 p.m. for GBH Amplified. Jimmy Hills, host of Java with Jimmy. And we are speaking with the Office of Gambling Addiction Prevention from the Department of Public Health. Brother Victor Ortiz will be with us. There was a recent article that came out about predatory practices of entities that run gambling operations. And I know for sure that there's a decade of aggressive, active advocacy for prevention and treatment for those in BIPOC communities dealing with gambling addiction. And so that's going to be our topic on Thursday. And it's relevant. Everybody's not up at the blackjack table with $2,000. How many of y'all are on Parlay? How many of y'all are on DraftKings? Those little $3, $5 bets that happen 5, 10, 20 times a week adds up. Then look at a month. So we're going to talk about that very, very soon. So gambling, Lawrence is, dude, what topic don't you have commentary on and know about? Lawrence is saying over on Instagram that gambling is bad. Mass has one of the worst gambling, and it's depressing, or it's causing depression from that addiction. So we're going to talk about that on Thursday for GBH Amplifies James Jimmy Hills, host of Java with Jimmy. We're going to have to change that next season. Speaking of that, June will be our last episode for the season. We will begin again in September back over at GBH. I think that is it for dates. April 23rd for the After Work Mixer, May 16th for the Health Fair. I'll be outside this week. Tomorrow, I'm on a panel. I don't know if there's a flyer, if they're going to stream it, but a very a group of politically influential individuals asked me to be on a panel about social media impact on policy. And so that's tomorrow at the UMass Club. If you know anything, it's going to be some good food there. We're going to add our voice to that panel. I think that's it for dates. No other dates really crossed my mind. April 8th, we will return with our partners for the Coalition for Resilient, and we resist there too. I'm saying that. For Resilient and Inclusive Waterfront, they'll be back with us on April 8th for Waterfront Wednesdays. And at Space by the City. What's up, Calvin? Good to see you over on Instagram, brother. Hit that brother up. If you're looking to do an event, I believe in the Mattapan, Dorchester area, go to his Instagram page. It is Space by City, not the city. Anyway, Space by City. Check that brother out. Support that Black-owned business there. I think that is it for me today. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. For some reason, I think I'm forgetting something. Let me check the comments just to be sure. In case it Domingos. Hacky self. What's up, brother? Good to see you in the room. Cora Bennett, what's going on, sis? Good to see you in the room. Milton say he got enough. Oh, Jesus. Let me get. Oh, yes. Michelle D. Smith reminded us this is Holy Week, and we should every day, but this week especially as we do the holidays and things like that, just add a little extra sensitivity. Say an extra hello to someone. Whatever your faith, maybe find yourself in a space of reflection. Holy means to be separated. So separate yourself so you can rise again on the third day and have better community impact. Thank you, Jesus. I felt that. No. All right, let me get off of here. Tashad said, good article in the Sunday Globe about casinos targeting minority groups, especially Asian communities. Tashad, that's the article that got on my attention. And so we'll be speaking with DPH and Office of Gambling Prevention. Good interview, though. It's with DH. I don't even remember why. Dina, Jesus, Lord, that is Dina. This is why I need to start reading Dina's comments before I put them on this. Dina, the only thing I could probably think, who did Dave used to work for at City Hall that maybe Ma might have had it? Did Dave work for, what's that dude's name? Flaherty? Who did Dave? Dina. I'm sure now that, Jesus. All right, I'm getting off of here. If I got off a few minutes ago, I wouldn't have got in trouble. All right, who was this? Teresa Minus said, Jesus, Lord, Miss T. Job with Jimmy, the epitome of the order. What is I know that word. The pronunciation show is coming soon. Anyway, a good age brandy, not feel overly sharp or burn the tongue. It should have it should have varied notes of sweet, fruity, and woody muted tobacco flavors that balance each other. This is exactly Java with Jimmy. You give everyone the needed information they need without being overly critical or sharp, all while incorporating Black joy, sincerity, empathy, love, and laughter throughout the way. Oh, Miss Teresa, you ended that. You ended that out well. Because at first I was like, what is this word in the beginning? Somebody phonetically write out that what? Hey Siri, how do you pronounce HORSDAGE, a French word?
I found this on the web. How do you pronounce horstage, a French word? Check it out.
I don't think Siri said it right either. Okay. I'm going to get off of here. Dina. You see, I read it first. All right. Thank you for being here this morning. Again, we'll close out with the fact that it is Mental Health Monday. With all that's going on, a lot of things that we named here, as Miss Teresa said, we are intentional also about our Black joy in this space, and everyone benefits from Black joy, not just Black people. So for those that aren't Black that are watching, thank you for Milagro. I know the people. I knew this was coming up sooner or later, and I don't think I turned her off. So let me get off of here before it starts. Go ahead, Cora. Ask your question real quick before we get off of here. Ordage is how it's pronounced. Ordage. That's a new one on me. And I think I'm well cultured. Cora. Oh, yeah. Well, why you say question on? Yes. Hit there. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little offline. For like the next couple of weeks, but hit me there. All right. That's me. We are out of here. And my brother Milton is active today. We miss the multiple comments. I know what are you in school? And Milton's doing a lot of stuff. Okay, folks, that's it. I'm rambling. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. here in the Java Cafe. And don't forget on Wednesday at 9 a.m. and Thursday at 12:30 p.m. I guess I need to do a little Java Cafe menu for this week.